the Matinee Review.
The Matinee Review.
Well, now that we got good and sidetracked,
What were we talking about?
what's going on here?
What are you talking about?
The Matinee Review.
Am I doing a podcast? Where am I?
You're in the void.
Hi.
Get out of there.
Hi, everybody. We're back.
Filters out the blue light.
Get out of there. This is nice. Things are nice.
Nice. And welcome back, everyone, to the Matinee Review, where two friends talk everything entertainment, such as movies, animated features, television shows, video games, cartoons, and comic books. I'm Justin.
I am Akili.
How's it going, everyone? And how's it going, my friend?
Greetings and salutations out there. And I am doing very, very well. I think I'm living my best life as of right now. How are you, sir?
I am doing the same. Life is good.
It's facts.
Yes. Hopefully it's the same for everyone else out there.
Hopefully it is the same for everyone else out there. No matter what's going on out there, we're happy to be your nice little distraction from if you're not having such a great time out there. Maybe we can help bring a little smile on your face if things aren't going that well for you. And if they aren't, hopefully they get better. So we're with you.
Yeah, you all out there are certainly our distraction from what is going on out there as well. So we appreciate you, because without you listening, we'd just be talking into the void, which sometimes I still wonder if we're doing.
I'm an only child. I'm used to talking into the void. When the void talks back, that's when you get worried.
It got deep.
That's what she said.
What?
Ha!
Woo! So today we're going to be talking about a little something called Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And you know, just like Chantams, man's got a whip.
No, knows how to use it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he does. Yes, he does. So we are going to be talking about the Indiana Jones game, The Great Circle. Is it The Great Circle? Is that
Correct.
Am I correct with
You
that
are
one?
correct. Indiana Jones and
So
the
many
Great
titles.
Circle.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade for the Great Circle. And
Indiana Jones goes through the Temple of Doom in the Last Crusade for the Great Circle.
after tripping over a crystal skull.
And running into raiders who lost their ark.
Yeah, well, you know, they do that a lot. Yeah.
They need to dial down the destiny, I'll tell you that much. Got him.
Ooh.
Got him. Got one in there. Woo! We're back.
Hey.
But hey, we're not gonna spend a whole lot of time shitting on this franchise.
No.
We love this franchise. Every franchise has faults,
Absolutely.
especially when you tell a story over 20 some odd years and your hero ages and times change and this, that, and the third. Yeah. But in a whole, Justin and I are great fans of Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones in particular. So we're just going to do a little shout out to the series because we ran into the game and we played it and we fairly enjoyed it. So figured we kind of go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
do it.
talk about the movies that we grew up with and not.
So in release order.
I mean, why not? I mean, we if we were to go in
really just flip
chronological
into
order,
Yeah.
we would have to start talking about the
game.
Young Indiana Jones
And then we have to start talking about
series
the
and
game.
the game.
In between.
Right, and
So,
yeah.
yeah.
But so let's just talk movie order real quick. Raiders, the introduction to the character himself. If it's not Last Crusade, Raiders is probably my favorite. They didn't have anything to live up to at that point, so it was just one of those, let's make it, and we're going to give it our all, and not try to base it off of something that we just made before. So it was just fresh, it was new, and everybody was just kind of creating the characters and creating the tone of Indiana Jones. So I have to say probably Raiders will always be near and dear, probably my favorite. I mean, that movie itself set a bar for certain action flicks too. What do you think of that one?
I feel like Raiders has a little bit of everything that you need in an action flick. It has action, it has danger, a handsome leading man, a maybe not it's like what we think of like a leading woman as, like aesthetically, like, you know, she's not like a 10, she's not a model, but when you think of leading woman, she's scrappy and she can drink, and so like that's
Karen Allen.
yeah. Not saying Karen Allen not attractive, but you know what I'm saying,
but
as far as, you know what I mean?
When she's scrappy and everything like that, you're not sitting there going like, man, that woman's hot. But when she's, I don't know, when she's just Karen Allen, like with Scrooged, she's quite cute in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cough. Excuse me. Got that thing in the back of my throat.
It has Nazis getting beat up. It has great locations. It has humor.
And that's
It
one
has
thing
heart, it
about
has love.
those
has
original
everything.
Spielberg movies and the Indiana Jones movies in particular. The original ones, they were all on location. If they weren't on location, they were in a sound studio. So everything around that was physical. You could see it, you could touch it, you could walk up to it. Light affects it. Shadows are created by the things that are fucking there, which is important.
And kind of a lost art in today's movie making.
Yeah.
Raiders feels like an old school Hollywood movie. Movies they used to make.
Yeah.
Things like that. Not my favorite. Last Crusade is my favorite, but Raiders definitely close second. My mother showed me that movie, so
I think I came across something on YouTube, something called like Better in Black and White. And I'm sure that Raiders would be one of those movies that's not better in black and white, but would still be just fine in black and white. If
Correct.
not, would be even a good fun watch just to have it in black and white.
Correct.
You know?
correct.
So
Like I said, it feels like an old school.
yeah, it feels like one of those old school serials, which he was basing it off of.
Oh, you could probably do an interesting cut, make that like a silent flick.
Oh yeah, I bet there's a channel out there already that does it. I bet somebody already has done it.
Just keep the score. You know what I mean? And
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah, that would
Yeah.
be fun. I love the what is it? I can't call it the Die Hard level of survival when it comes to Indiana Jones, but I guess the guy that just constantly is getting his ass kicked, but he constantly keeps going. That type
every
of story.
day kind of, every day he's a basic, teacher. You know what I'm saying? He's a professor.
Yeah,
not
he's a
dude that
professor,
you would,
but he's
you've had no idea he would scrappy, whip carrying, punch you in the face, dude on the weekends. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So, you look at John McClane, beginning of the movie, you don't think he's the dude that's going to outlast these terrorists that took over this thing.
Right.
So I get
Yeah,
what you're, I get what you're saying.
it's just that it's the character that it's like by the end of the movie they're done. Like even at the middle of this movie, no, not the middle, probably the beginning of the third act, they get on the boat and they're going to find the Ark still, and he ends up just passing out when they're about to get it on.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing he could have done about it at that point. He'd probably been up for like 3 days. He had just fought like I don't know how many people, and then had to swim from one boat to a fucking submarine after, he did that after his sleep. So thank God he got some sleep. But yeah, it's just, I like that type of stuff when it comes to those characters. It just seems like it seems realistic. It's not John Wick falling off a 3rd-story building, hitting every single fire escape on the way down, landing on concrete. And then you see him in John Wick 4.
He's just
That should have been credits rolling. That was the end of the movie.
Doesn't walk with a permanent limp or anything.
My God, man.
Doesn't sprain an ankle, nothing. Anywho, that first one, Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's the original name of it. It wasn't even Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's just Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Correct.
If you haven't seen it, go see it. Now, we'll constantly say that. If you haven't seen this series, go ahead and check it. Real quick, synopsis. Indiana Jones is tasked to go and look for the Ark of the Covenant. Yes, the Ark of the Covenant, the thing that they carried the 10 Commandments in. Hitler wants to get it for power, and we can't have that. So chaos ensues.
Correct.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Amazing.
Off the success of that film, they went on ahead and felt like, well, we don't want him fighting Nazis back to back. Let's go on ahead and do a little prequel. Indiana Jones Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom, yes. But before we talk Temple of Doom, you know the Star Wars Easter egg in Raiders, right?
Tell me.
When they are lifting up the Ark, there's a pillar right behind Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
on the hieroglyphs, there is C-3PO and R2-D2
That's funny.
just over his shoulder.
I'll have to check that out next
Yeah,
time
it is clear as day.
Nice.
It is clear as day. If you know where to look, it's like, oh yeah, look at that. They're there.
Self-promotion, man.
Yep,
Self-promotion. Brand yourself.
that's right.
Brand yourself.
It is a Lucasfilm. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Smart.
Yep.
Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom,
know-
the wackier of the series.
Upon doing a little research, getting ready to do this, I saw a quote from Steven Spielberg that says, the best thing that came out of doing Temple of Doom was he got to meet his wife.
Yes.
That's it. He's not a fan of it. And it does go a little left. I remember as a kid, it was my favorite just because it was very wacky. You know,
it goes into
there's that whole dinner scene. The hearts are getting pulled out of people, and Om Nam Shivai and Kali.
Oh, yeah.
and
Kalima.
Harrison all
Shut the day.
possessed
Kalima.
and
Yeah.
short round and Broad yelling every 30 seconds.
Om Shibai, Om Shibai, Om Shibai, Om Shibai. He's being lowered down. Oh man, yeah.
That whole movie is like an Ultimate Warrior promo. Where as a kid, you just heard the yelling and saw the colors and and you're just like, yeah. And then as you get older, you're like, he's not really saying a whole lot of substance, really. And this is really crazy.
Yeah.
That being said, it's an all right film.
I enjoy it. It's just
It's an all right film.
it is a different type of serial.
Yes.
It is one of those radio dramas where people really hammed it up.
Yes.
And yeah, his wife about that.
She said that she had no idea she would be received so, like she's like, especially from women. She's like, I had no idea the harsh whatever I was gonna get. She's like, I was just making a movie. Poor girl.
Yeah, but the problem being was that he got to meet his wife in that movie. So he was probably flirting with her more than he was criticizing, hey, the scene, or hey, can you dial it back? Can you dial the destiny? I mean, can we dial it back a little bit? Just bring it down. You're at a 9. Bring it to a 7. Yeah, you could do it. It's easy.
I'm just thinking, I think there's one or two of those screams that were done in post too. Like she had to go back and like, all right,
And
just
do
go in
another
there
one of
and-
those screams. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
She should have been in a lot more horror movies. She was a lightweight scream queen.
Yeah, but
It's the one you hear right before, like, you know,
was she in?
stabbed hardcore. I mean, she might have been. I don't
What
know.
other movies was she in?
I'd have to look her up. I didn't look her up that hard.
Was this her one and done?
I don't know.
Huh.
Somebody out there knows. Let us know.
I like the camaraderie, the relationship between Key and Short Round.
Kei Kwan,
Yeah.
Academy Award winning actor. Kei Kwan.
And he's got a leading role movie coming out soon.
Yep.
Yeah, going to be seeing that.
Yeah.
Action flick. He's doing the choreography for it, too.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Synopsis. Indiana is tasked by a village to go and find some children that have been kidnapped by some people for some reasons, and
Along with their sacred stones.
along with some stones that,
Yeah.
you know, believe that bring life and the rain and good fortune and this and that. So he is tasked to do that, and chaos ensues.
Very much so.
It's been a little minute since I've seen it, but I can go back and think about it real well. And yeah, there's things in there I'm just like, that's pretty crazy.
It's
the whole dinner
wacky.
scene, man. The whole
It's a
dinner
wacky
scene.
movie.
The whole dinner scene. The
Oh,
whole
yeah,
dinner
that's what I'm
scene.
saying. So that wacky scene.
Snake surprise, and monkey brains. and,
brain. Chilled monkey brain.
like she just wanted some soup, and there was something in the soup. Like
Eyeballs.
and your one man's was loving everything they put up there. It was his favorite.
Scream.
He was
Oh, yeah.
double fisting snakes like it was nothing.
Yeah, to cut the thing open. It was like it was
Snakes
it was
and the snakes.
oh man,
Yep, man. Yeah. Oh, man is right. Which is why I think they went on ahead and said, hey, we want to make another one. First thing we're gonna do, go back to Nazis. Not only that,
Go back to World War II.
Not only that, but we're going to have Hitler show up.
Yes. When it comes to a trilogy, that one is the weakest. And I say when it comes to a trilogy because that's what we had first. After that came The Last Crusade. And that one's just killer.
Last Crusade is my favorite.
Yeah.
Sir Sean Connery.
Filmed with his pants off. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Some scenes that he did when he was sitting down, it's just like he didn't like wearing pants all the time because he just got too hot.
Fuck it.
And he was just like, fuck it. So the scene where they're talking, father and son, Harrison Ford was like, all right, I'll do it too. They're just both sitting there in their boxers. You don't see anything from waist down. So just know that when you watch that scene next time, that they're both sitting there just pants off like, yep, having a serious conversation.
I want to say that's the same thing that McConaughey's doing in Wolf of Wall Street when he's in the when they're having that whole conversation.
Oh, yeah?
I want to say he's like also, or maybe might be freestyling that, but
Well, he was
I
free.
feel like I've heard that. I know that was
Improv.
I know
because that was something that he does
that's
to
his
warm
warm-up
up.
joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do a Wolf of Wall Street thing because I love the fuck out that movie.
Oh yeah.
But we're talking about Indiana Jones.
Is that
and
what
Last
we're talking
Crusade.
about?
Yeah. I remember just enjoying the final act of this movie, especially the final trials, just being, everything about having to do the thing where you have to teach, the penitent man kneels before God. You have to hit the roll, and then it's a leap of faith, and you got to throw the thing, you get to see the bridge and the sides,
The walk, spelling out his name too. Yeah.
Jacob.
Boom. The Latin alphabet. Jehovah begins with an I.
You must believe, boy. You must believe.
As for the blasphemy. Yep. Oh man, that whole movie.
I'm saying.
What's in the diary? What does it tell you that it doesn't tell us? It tells me that goose-stepping morons like yourself should try reading books instead of burning them. Man, Sean Connery, when he said that, man, he was just like, get the fuck out of my face. Stop smacking me, you schmuck. Yeah.
Such a great film. I suddenly remembered my Charlemagne.
My armies be the rocks and the trees and the birds in the sky. Yep. Just the look on his face after that, like, I had no idea.
Did you peep the Sean Connery shot? I mean, there's a couple in there in the game.
In the game?
Where he's in
Did
the
you
plane.
did you hit it?
Yeah.
You hit the yeah, I did too. Yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about that, folks.
That was a good little.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I'm glad.
So we won't talk about that scene yet and about from this movie, but if you know what we're talking about because you played the game, yeah, we both did, and that's funny because I did, and that was great. That was great. I was curious too. I almost did it on purpose. I was thinking about it. I'm like, nah. And then at one point, I just hit it. I was like, oh well, let's see. And then yes,
I just didn't think it was something you could hit. I was just like, I'll probably just pass over it. And then it was just like,
no.
Okay.
Attention to detail.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're vague booking right now.
Synopsis: the Jones Boys, as they're called, are pretty much asked to try. Pretty much led in a kind of trap kind of way to get led to finding the cup of Christ.
Well, at first you have Indiana Jones being asked to find the Grail.
Holy Grail, cup of Christ, same thing. Yeah.
Well, it's a cup of Christ, the Grail, but that's just
I was trying to think of the official.
Right.
I was like, cup of Christ,
the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
So
Boom.
he gets recruited to do that.
Shout
and
out
then
Mike
he was like
Python.
going, Grail lore was my dad's thing. Why don't you try my father? And he's like, we did. Your father's the one who's missing. And so it's like,
why you seek the cup of Christ?
right.
Is it for his glory?
All
or
for
your
yours. That guy had like 3 accents in that movie. I'm sorry. Can we just stop and I just need to say that right now.
That is yours.
Yeah, no. It's like at first you have this like almost like Turkish accent.
My name is Kasim.
Right.
Wait, what?
And then he goes into this almost like Scottish accent. And then he goes into this like hardcore like British accent. Ask yourself. Like what like and it's not even that British. It's like
start doing Shakespeare.
right.
Ask yourself
Yes.
to be
Or not to be.
You seek the cup of Christ
Yeah.
for His glory or for your own.
Yeah.
No,
Your father's being held in the castle of Broomwell.
not every day, you know.
I'll be descend. End scene.
Adios. Au revoir. Wiedersehen. Ciao. Indade.
Oh, we're talking too many movies.
Great back and forth between Sean Connery and Harrison Ford.
I love him looking at his watch and giving him this look of, are you pleased with yourself after throwing the
Yeah.
stick into the spokes? And
Yeah.
he's all happy, like, look what I just did. I can't believe that was great. Fuck those guys. And he turns to him, he's like, are you done? Like,
And then the look back of
almost
like
died.
feeling like shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I think that's why he kind of snaps on him, like, you know, and then he, you know, that's for blasphemy, like,
right.
you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm upset at you.
Two
Like,
selfless
this whole,
martyrs.
this whole
Jesus
thing
Christ.
is, yeah, this whole situation is like, this is what you do, huh?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, this is what, okay, this is what you do. All right. The whole scene when that begins with them being tied up, that ends with them that whole escape, the entire from the banter to what you realize went down to dad what it's
Head for the fireplace.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah. That's some good action, physical comedy, some really good stuff going on there.
That whole movie,
Carpet's
that whole
on fire.
movie from start to finish, like
And the
it,
chair.
because we can't not talk about that movie without talking about River Phoenix and the performance he gave,
Yes.
and it was
Nice little beginning of the
Spectacular.
film there. Yeah. Nice little beginning of the film there.
like when you watch that, you went, "Shit, he could have been a young, he could have been a young Han Solo had they made that Han Solo movie then."
He could have been a young lot of things.
Man,
A lot of people took some jobs that would have been his. Trust
yeah,
me.
oh yeah,
River Phoenix was going to be a star.
oh yeah, yeah. No, he would have been as big as Depp, guaranteed. They would have probably been coming up at the same time.
He would have been DiCaprio before.
Oh,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He'd have been that guy.
Man.
The acting chops were already there,
Oh, 100%.
and then
Yeah.
he just would have kept being surrounded by hitters and.
Yep. But that whole movie, like starting off with him being that guy who's not, like, it's just a snake when he's like taking the snake off of, what's his,
Big guy.
yeah.
Big guy.
Whatever his name was. Not Grimace. It's along those lines. It is. I'm not. You know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna look it up just because you're laughing at me like I'm an asshole. But it's so close to that. Don't.
Well, I'm laughing because you said it, and then the first image I get is just like him all sweating, the hat all too. I brought the marshal.
Right. I brought the sheriff.
I brought the sheriff.
Yeah. He's so pleased.
Way to go, Grimace.
Yeah. Not Grimace. What's his name?
From now on,
His name's
fucking
Grimace.
Oh, snap.
I'm laughing
Yes.
so hard I forgot what I was fucking typing. All right. Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade.
Well, it's good that we can get some laughs because then we're going to get into not so much laughs and what initially was I'm glad we were talking about it a little bit where
Herman.
this one
Grimace. Herman.
Herman?
Well, hey,
Samsonite.
I was way off.
Yeah. Herman.
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 Grimace.
Damn it, Herman. Grimace. Yeah, it's Grimace. That's what it is.
I'm
from
calling
now
him
on.
Grimace,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
calling him Grimace too. Fuck that. Yeah.
Herman's horse sick. That's introduction. Yes.
Grimace, go get the sheriff.
Grimace. It's just a snake, Grimace.
Oh yeah.
It's
That's
really.
gonna be a different viewing now. That's gonna
It
be
is
funny.
a talent to be able to entertain ourselves.
That's
It's
gonna
really
be
good.
funny. A talent to entertain yourself within reason can be a wonderful thing.
Oh
some
my
people,
God.
Some people. Never mind. we're gonna shift from that. And I'm trying to remember the time jump between, because we had a pretty good, nice little times between 1 and 2 and 3. Then there was some time off. Was it at least 10 years?
Well, you had 39 to 50. What? 2
For Crystal Skull.
for Crystal Skull.
Okay.
Yeah, but were you
Yeah,
talking
so-
filming wise?
Yeah, I'm talking about from when the movies came out.
Well, the movie came out in '89. Last Crusade
Last Crusade, and then Crystal Skull.
was like 2008,
Yeah. So,
2011. What was that? What is Crystal Skull? I have to look this up
oh, look it
now.
up real quick.
He's going to pineapple. 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 That actually might be good.
That's a free intro or outro for anybody who needs some music.
No, it's not. That's ours.
Oh, shout out.
It's going to be
shout
our
out,
intro and outro. That's going to be our outro for this fucking whole show.
Shout out EDBL. Shout out Edible Music,
Yes.
who hooked us up with our wonderful, speaking of intros and outros, that smooth section issue here that was brought to you by those wonderful people. I wanted to give them a shout out in case we didn't. I believe we did, but never hurts to shout them out again. Hey, we love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Hit them up. Support some music. Boom.
So it was 2008.
Nice little chunk of time.
Yeah.
I remember the announcement being very excited.
Yeah.
This was still a time that people didn't hate Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
So it was at the time it was okay for him to be in the movie. You didn't know exactly who he was yet. It was just like, okay, some dude. I remember some people. Well, not. I remember having a conversation with some people. His first main intro really felt. What's the actor's name? James Dean.
Yeah.
Really felt James Deanish. His whole thing. I was just like, I think he's trying to. I think
I'm
they're
going to
trying
say
to give
more
him-
like Marlon Brando.
Probably.
That type shit.
Probably.
That type
Probably
of feel.
closer.
They're
They're probably closer.
I don't know. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
He kind of had that smug face, you know. Just kind of driving his bike. He's gonna find the doctor, professor. Something like that.
that would have been great if Marlon Brando was in that role. Not like old fat, even actually old fat Marlon Brando playing Harrison Ford's son. That I'm sorry, but we've gotten like way off the rails here. But
Godfather just comes toting up in the freaking motorcycle.
Hey, professor. Hey, you know an Oxley? You know, they're gonna kill him. Did you know that?
I heard you knew my mother.
You know, I fix bikes.
anywho,
I remember first seeing this movie and they introduced the idea that we're going after aliens. I remember kind of going, okay,
they just hit that right off with the beginning of
Correct.
the movie with the Area 51.
correct,
And finding out that that's where they were keeping the Ark this entire time.
correct.
So, isn't that interesting? And yeah, I enjoyed that whole opening. That opening I thought was great.
Yeah, the opening,
I mean,
the
except
opening
for
was
the-
the opening was a good.
The CGI,
We felt
what
back
was
to being
that?
Indiana Jones a little bit, swinging from the thing, and that was cool. Yeah.
what was that? Was that the not ground squirrel? What was that? A mole? That wasn't a mole. Whatever it was at the beginning of the movie. Mm-hmm. Whatever that animal was did not have to be in CGI. Why did they do that? First thing, first off the bat, look at this bad CGI. Like, oh, God, stop. No. But that's my complaint. I have some complaints about this movie.
But then we got to see a really good car race.
The car race, everything that was on location, everything that was that whole opening of that movie was great. I enjoyed that, except for that little CGI.
I remember being in the theater, and when he gets in the refrigerator, really more when he rolls out of the refrigerator and walks up, and you get to see him look at the mushroom crowd. I remember people were laughing in the
Were they? Really?
Cause I kind of get it again. I get it at the time where it's just like, all right,
Well, it shows you what era we're in at that point.
Exactly.
And
John McClane's a good comparison, but it's just like, all right, he did all that. He didn't even get out limping. He's just fine. All right.
Oh, that part, yes.
Right.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah, he knocked around the refrigerator and this and that. You get out, he's that close to the mushroom cloud, you're not even going to throw up.
No, because the refrigerator protected him.
Yes. No, I get the premise.
Oh, I know you know. I know you get it. I'm just saying
man.
that for the folks out there. But still, it's it's dumb.
You know,
we're getting into the wacky again.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And again, over time, it's just I don't mind the movie. I don't mind it.
No.
I don't dislike it. There's a lot of people that dislike it. I don't dislike it. I think it's just fine.
There's things that could have been cut from it, and there's things that could have been done on location and also made physical, puppets, hell, stop motion. Do something. Just something that's there.
Yeah.
There was a weird time in 2008 where if you didn't have the CGI just right, you could tell, like, oh, yeah, that's all CGI. Iron Man had the CGI just right when it came to flying through the air and his character and whatever it was. This one, same year, not so much. Not so much.
Synapsis. Indiana Jones is tasked to, well, he's not really tasked. Well, yeah, he's kind of kidnapped to try to figure something out. They have remnants of a crystal skull, and it has some kind of magic little magnetic properties, and he's tasked to figure it out, what's going on, and chaos ensued.
Yeah.
And what I will say about Crystal Skull, if it's the last one you make in the line, it's just fine. But they did try one more time.
They did, and that opening of that one more time was great.
One more time.
Daft Punk, everybody.
Yes, the opening of it's, hey, y'all, hold on tight to this. We're going to hit you with a good nostalgia here because, yeah, it's your man's. He's back and whoop, whoop. So we're going to first show you
an unbroken Indiana Jones.
Yeah, we're going to first
one
show
you know and love.
Right, we're going to first show you. It's been a long time since you've seen him. So let's give you a little bit of, hey, let's set the mood here. Let's light some candles. We're going to set this table off right. The foreplay is going to be nice because, yeah, after this, I don't know if it's love making. It's real basic sex. We thought it was going to get put on you with the opening. You're like, man, they set a real good tone. And then just.
It sounds like you're talking a lot about like disappointment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. well, they definitely they definitely took your one of your favorite characters and they made him not one of your favorite characters, except for maybe when he's in action and I mean they broke him. And I guess that's the trend at this point, like we've been talking about through many of the podcast episodes, is you take your character that everybody knows and loves. He's the hero. He will save the day. He's strong and he's witty and he's fucking chipper. Even when he's punching somebody in the face, he's like, ha ha, he's that fencer, that ha ha, you know, and then and let's take that character and let's just make them sad and have them like experience so much loss that they are no longer that character that you know and love. That has been the trend. Let's just keep doing that. I think the best version of that was probably Logan, but they did that right, where it's not somebody that they didn't ruin a character. That was just his story arc. But this one, in his story arc, they definitely just went, yeah, fuck whoever likes that really cool stuff about Indiana Jones. Let's take all that and just flush it. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. We never really reviewed The Dial of Destiny.
If I'm not mistaken, the director of Dial of Destiny also directed Logan.
He did.
Okay. So I'm realizing I'm figuring this out in real time. Okay, so that would give maybe a little bit of credence to his whole, well, it worked in Logan, let me try it on this guy. But it's two different, you're dealing with two different versions of loss.
Yeah.
You're dealing with two different versions of loss. You're dealing with a dude who's always been broken since we met him. So it's not really a surprise for us to see Wolverine broken.
Right.
We're seeing him at his most broken.
Right.
But he is dealing with that pain as we would kind of expect him to do. And it's X-23 that brings him out of that. And that's the redemption story there.
Right.
With this, it's such a huge flip from, okay, even the small little bits that, in this part we did talk about a little bit before, even the little bits and pieces you saw where, oh, he might have lost this, oh, maybe this has gone wrong, oh, this and that, blah, blah, blah. The last time we saw the dude, he had wife, had son, even took his hat back. Like, he was riding off in the sunset, and previously, just like with his pops and the gang, and it was all good. There was no reason, even on a storytelling standpoint, to bring him down that much.
Right.
And another thing we talked about, and I wanted to say that I want to put this out here, the director said that he felt like he was a little disappointed with the reception. He thinks part of the bad reception for the movie was people weren't ready to see an 80-year-old Indiana Jones because people don't like to see their heroes get old. And it's like, nah, everybody gets old, bruh. But you don't have to be old and broken. There's no reason for that. You can just make him old. He could have been an old, happy dude and still have told the same story. I'll do you one more. If you really thought that, I want people to get behind this, I made my star 80 years old because that's what I want to do. Okay, great. Then how come he was the co-star in his own movie? Phoebe What's-Her-Bucket was pretty much was running the movie. Even down to the end when it should just be maybe on this arc of like, you know what? I did find a purpose. Like, you're right. It's like, oh, maybe just leave me here like, bruh.
You didn't have to, and spoilers for if you haven't seen this movie. But
why does somebody just shoot me in the head?
Right.
Bang! Bang! Everybody just stop!
Leave me alone. 5 minutes, Moira, please. Would you get these kids?
I hear him on the phone calling
life. Yeah. Gotta have to watch that movie again too. But you don't have to completely break. If you want to write out Shia, then what you do is, instead of saying that he died in Vietnam, spoilers again, we're gonna.
This movie been out for a minute, so
anyways, he didn't die in Vietnam.
We'll put spoilers at the beginning.
Right, he didn't die in Vietnam. Let's just say go the Air America route. He found a wife. He stayed there. And that's just the way it is. That he writes every now and then, but I hardly hear from him. Neither does his mother. Done.
Because my thing is, if you just keep him alive, even if you want to replace Shia, it leaves it open to tell that story.
Yeah. I mean, we are getting into an Indiana Jones of the, 1980s and 90s, but, sure.
Still stuff out there. I mean, he's still. I was going to say that they still haven't done a kind of a a story where he addresses anything in the pyramids or anything yet. But no, nay.
Aha.
Nay,
Yeah,
nay.
that lets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would not say that the Dial of Destiny was a terrible movie, but
No.
it definitely did not have to be the movie that it was. I enjoy it for the movie that it is at this point because I didn't make this movie, so I'm appreciating what somebody else did,
Right.
what other people put into it. Harrison Ford's always great. Even if he is playing sad bastard, he is great. So I enjoy his acting in the movie. I just would not have taken it in that direction at all if it was me making that movie.
It's a film that I have like zero interest to watch again. And so that just,
I enjoy watching the beginning, and then all of a sudden I'm just like,
and that's when we can play the game.
exactly.
'Cause that's, if we're gonna AI the fucking, hey, let's play the game.
Right.
Synopsis. Indy is brought back into wanting to investigate
He's thrown back
no,
into the
he's
fold just
thrown
because
back
he
into
did
the
not
fold.
want to be, because he was like, I'm retired, I'm
Correct.
done, whatever, I'm miserable.
Correct.
I just want to drink and do nothing and just be miserable and retire with my clock that I gave away.
He's got to find this thing that supposedly helps with some supposed time travel. The Nazis are looking for it, and chaos ensues. So
Chaos does ensue.
there it is.
Yep.
Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny. Now, we already talked about meat and potatoes. How's about if we did meat and potatoes, let's do a nice little dessert. Let's wrap up with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
The great script, much better than the movie that came before, the last two. I will say that. Like, this game itself was better than Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny.
Facts.
It was so much fun.
I like it better than Temple of Doom, bro.
Oh, yeah. I do too. Because it was more Indiana Jones than Temple of Doom was. It fits perfectly in between, and it's also set in between Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade.
It is indeed.
And
in fact, we get a wonderful, wonderful opening to this game.
which, when I was watching it being played for the first time, and then when I was playing it, and to this day, I'm 100% convinced that not only is it that lovely little, hey, you get to play the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Remember that? Everybody loves that movie. You got to watch that, and now you get to play that. And that's so fucking cool.
And it's a well done kind of shot for shot kind of recreation at the beginning of the film.
Yeah, down to you walking through the area. They really mapped it out, and it was really well done. But it's also there to make it so that way you can get used to Troy Baker doing Harrison Ford.
Yes.
And it really doesn't take very long for you to get used to him doing it, because it's a lot easier for somebody to do an impression of somebody with the lines that are already there, the lines that have already been given by said actor, so you can just mimic that. So once you're past that, once you hear all the other lines after that, you've already heard the movie, you've already heard these iconic lines. So you're already used to that character. It just flows right in. You're already used to that actor doing that character. So that's what I mean, it's not just a tutorial of how to play the game. It's a get used to this guy talking as Harrison Ford. So, man.
This game it's made by Bethesda Studios. I'm going to say that 8 times fast later. I'm going to nail it. Synopsis. Are we spoiling this game? What are we doing?
I don't know. I mean, it was just,
I don't know if a lot of people are going to play it.
Look, if you've played this game and you're listening to us talk about it, then you already know what happened. If you haven't played this game and you're listening to us talk about this, and you still haven't thought, hey, maybe I should stop and go and play the game, then you're just going to have to deal with it, because we're going to talk about it. I don't know what else to say.
I'll say this. I'll give a non-spoiler synopsis.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about some stuff, and then it's going to be spoiled. So if I tell you the synopsis and you're not interested in the game, then you can keep listening. But if you're like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting, then stop after the synopsis. Go play the game and then come back. All right. So, like Justin said, it takes place after the events of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Indiana Jones is working at Marshall College, and someone breaks into Marshall College and steals an artifact. which leads him on adventures to track down pieces of artifact that belong to what they call the Great Circle. The Nazis are looking for it, and we can't have that. And chaos ensues.
Do you sense a pattern, folks?
But it's great gameplay. It's a lot of first person, except for when some other actions are happening, then it pans out to third person. The fighting is first person. You bring some fists up, or you see a gun, and it's really great for like solving puzzles. First person is not everybody's bag, but this feels like it was garnered for like that kind of first person experience, especially. You're looking through the eyes of Indiana Jones. You're trying to solve puzzles using his eyes to see what and see what you see and how things stick out to you. So the puzzles are really enjoyable. It's a very great script. The main bad guy trying to stop you is a dude. I forget his first name, but his last name is Voss. Is a dude with glasses, and he's this kind of classic. I was appointed by the Fuhrer to bring him a mission, and I'm about the fatherland and him, and forget you, Indiana Jones. You're not stopping me. I'm smarter and better than you, and I can beat you because I have mastered the ancient art of karate. Ciao.
Yes, he did. And not only that, but he was also a complete and utter nerd. And that's okay. It's not like it's a bad thing to be a nerd, but when it comes to having your
Half our fan base just turned off.
Right.
Click. Oh.
Fuck that guy, man. I'm a nerd. I'm allowed to be a nerd. No. What I'm saying is that when you have the cool school teacher and then you have the not so cool, what almost like he's the student who wants to be as cool as the teacher, and he's a Nazi, you got that type of attitude. Yeah, he's kind of nerdy. He's a little dorky. Mm-hmm. He's very
little know-it-all.
Little know-it-all, like little hee, like you're on my side, and
everybody's beneath me, even people on my team.
Right. Yeah.
To the point, okay. So that was the synopsis. So now we're going to talk about the game. So if the synopsis didn't grab, I know that wasn't a great synopsis. Chaos ensues don't really tell a whole lot, but you can go ahead and Google the game. We're going to go ahead and talk about it in 2, 8, 3. Okay. So
he counts well.
So yeah, your homie dude. Everybody's beneath him, even to the point where he's like, "Hey, yo, see, that's how you manipulate a dude." Like while he's manipulating that dude, like,
right,
like, bro, if I'm driver, like, no, I see what you're doing. Like, don't compare me to. You're trying to compare me to him on some like, hey, like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Like he was talking to the quiet guy with half a face, the mask and everything. Like, that's how you manipulate somebody into doing what you want and blah, 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 blah. And the guy's just looking at him like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Can we just get going?
Where are we going, man?
Where are we going? Who are we killing? What am I carrying? I don't care. That was, that's what I got out of that guy. Yeah. But when it comes to the first person stuff, I didn't think that I was really going to enjoy it at first.
Same.
And
outside of Call of Duty, it's not really my bag.
Well, I forgot about how much I enjoyed Skyrim in first person. But you also had the option in Skyrim to be able to go back and forth between like kind of the first person and third person. This one, you didn't have that. You only got to, like you said, when you're swinging, when you're climbing, and when you're doing a certain something, lifting
like, for
something
instance,
up.
You can do like Red Dead in first person, but I don't like it at all.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't either.
Yeah.
Although I almost want to go back now and try it. But there's something about Red Dead where you want to see everything, including him.
It's geared for that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think they made this geared for first person.
100%.
That's why it feels a little better. It feels a little more organic.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
Yeah. And I enjoyed just kind of the sneaking around and finding all these different things. Story-wise, I completely agree with Keeley. It's better than Temple of Doom. And it's a lot better than the previous two movies that came out.
I remember when we finished it, we were talking about it. We said that you could take out pretty much all the side quests. If you just ran the main missions, this could be a really good movie, or maybe throw in a side quest or two and it could be a really good series, like a 10 episode something series.
Yeah, this could be also like a good 2-part movie.
Yeah.
If it really needed to be.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing with the Vatican and then
Yeah. So yeah, right off, now that we can kind of talk about it. So RIP to Tony Todd. This came out a month after he passed away. He plays what we might think is our first big maybe enemy or our big antagonist. I'm like, oh crap. He's the dude who breaks into the museum. And it's a giant-sized version of Tony Todd. Not that he was a short dude in general, but like...
this is definitely
He is a giant.
It's like, yeah, it's like 8 foot tall, eight like he's huge.
But it's him. It's there's he did motion cap, and it's his voice, and there's no mistaking Candyman.
Yeah.
R.I.P. So he breaks in, takes this little statue. You find out that he leaves behind this emblem, which leads him to the Vatican. And you find out that there's this whole order that's been working with the Vatican to protect this secret of the Great Circle. And of course, the Nazis won, and they actually put Mussolini in the game. And he comes through, and there's this cardinal he's like, oh, I made a deal and blah, blah, blah. But it turns out, oh, you made a deal with the devil. And Voss comes and takes that, and they gotta sneak onto a fucking Zeppelin, and it takes them to fucking Egypt, and they're doing things in Egypt, and you gotta go to Siam, and you get transported to Shanghai and like in the Himalayas, and it's
It's a wacky movie,
so
but it's
crazy.
it's a wacky movie. It's a wacky game, and it's good wacky.
Yeah, man.
More wacky, less
when the
egghead.
portal to Shanghai, that's something I did not see coming. But they
You did not see?
But they set you up by going like, oh hey, so they bamped this ship to the top of this mountain, the Himalayas, and you're just like, okay, so
How? Let's find out.
they've introduced some kind of portal system. Okay, be prepared for that.
Well, but they also introduced a portal system in the previous movie you watched when
Correct.
it comes to Dial of Destiny. That whole finding the portal, that's what the Dial of Destiny is. It's finding the point that will take you to the past.
Trust me, somebody in there fixed the thing where they're just like, look, we need to try to tie in some kind of thing here. I know, portals, time travel, that'll do it.
Right.
That'll do it. But to keep it on kind of theme, with to kind of tie in that with to keep it on theme, they've been doing. They find fucking Noah's Ark.
Right.
The hell, and you're like, okay, that's how Noah went and collected the animals. He had to bamp through these fucking portals and blah 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 blah.
So he went after an ark, and then he found another ark.
Boom.
So what's his story arc? I had to. Arc, an arc. I'll be here all week. folks.
Ark.
Yep. Oh, Angus.
R.I.P. So I really enjoy the game, and then we have a. Would you like to? Would you like to gauge? Would you like to tell the people the annoyance level of the companion Gina who comes along?
You mean when she reminds you that there's something in the door?
Every once in a while you have a game that lets you know, like, hey, are you stuck? Instead of telling you what to do, we're going to project what you should be doing through maybe a character or something like that. Now, when it comes to games like God of War, I think they do it correct, where they'll just have the character kind of go, hey, I see something. Check this out. Over here. Oh, not Gina.
So, I don't know if you've all gotten to this point or if you've all played this game, but if you have, you realize that at some point after a, say, maybe large battle, I'll just say it, after the battle that you have with the giant at the Vatican, you have the whole speech with Mussolini and Voss and the priest. After all that, you have to find a way out. And you're in this place that has a whole lot of stuff that you could probably look around and find some things. Now, my gameplay
This is like the Vatican treasure spot. Right.
Yeah,
so they put some interesting things in there.
Yeah, so my gameplay method is, hey, quickly run around, find stuff that might be highlighted, grab it. If it's a long read, read it later. If it's a short read, give it a good go because you might find some stuff that might be important. But mainly you're there to find the artifacts and stuff like that. Get it going. As I'm doing that, all of a sudden I hear, Dr. Jones, you might want to use that pendant that you got over here on this door. And I'm thinking in my head, oh, okay, yeah, that's great. So then I find a piece of paper and I start reading it. Dr. Jones, you might want to use this pendant over here on this door that you found. And I'm not shitting you. Like I'm like fully invested in this at that point. So at that point, I'm like, yeah, great, thanks. I'm reading something over here. Dr. Jones, you might want to really use that pendant that you found over here on this door. Yeah, I'm reading something right now. Can you leave me alone? Dr. Jones, you might want to use that pendant. It was just constant over and over and over again to the point where it went, look, lady, shut up. And I grabbed the remote and muted it. And I just kept looking around until I found that there was nothing else to find. And sure as shit, I take it off mute and I hear, Dr. Jones, you really want to use that pendant over here on this door? And I was just like, yeah, pendant. Here you go. Click, and boom, and door opens and the game keeps going. It is constant when she is trying to tell you something that you need to do that you have not done within the 3 seconds that you should have done it. It is so annoying. They really need to dial that back.
For the folks who haven't played the game, this is when you go to the Vatican, you're introduced to a young lady, Gina Lombardi, I want to say her name is.
Sure.
She
Of the Lombardi trophies?
She is possibly, maybe.
Yeah.
She is in town looking for her sister. Coincidentally, her sister is one of the experts in the language that Indiana Jones needs to decipher to do what he needs to do. So their interests kind of collide, and she kind of gives him the whole, I'm your goddamn partner, kind of just noses along. But that's okay, because she's pretty, and Indiana Jones don't want to be lonely. So, yeah, you get a companion, and she kind of talkative when you kind of just want to do some things. So,
yeah. Most of the characters that you're traveling with at one point can get repetitive. So just be prepared for that. Other than that, after the Vatican, you do get to go to Giza.
Fight Club.
The fight clubs are great. At first, they were annoying.
Nah.
Well, because I kept getting my ass handed to me until I realized how to fight, because you ended up saying, the parrying. I'm like, yeah, I do. Parrying is like,
counter
yeah,
punching.
but it's a counter. I'm like,
yeah, because you counter one side, it does the push. Counter the other side gives you that full hook.
Well, because at first I'm so used to doing first-person shooters and shit like that you're hardly using the left hook. You're just doing a whole lot of right-handed punches. And then it didn't even dawn on me that I was like, oh yeah, no, you got the other trigger.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the moment I did that, once you said, yeah, counter with whatever one, the opposite of whichever one they throw, it was just night, lights out. That was it. Man, it was easy.
I was sure.
Every single one.
I was Sherlock Holmes and people. I was sitting there fighting, telling Kale, like, homie dude's going to try to punch me 3 times. I'm going to block him. I'm going to fucking punch him. He's going to stumble down. And I'm going to hit him 2 times. A little 2-piece. Pop out. I'm going to dodge him when he tries to kick. I'm going to fire full roundhouse. Fucking physical damage. Fucking out for 2 weeks. Psychological damage.
Started watching that the other night too.
Yeah, but yes, you do get to go to Giza. Great location.
Yeah, it very much so reminds you of the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark, or not the beginning of the part where he actually ends up looking for the Ark. So you have the sand, the desert,
his outfit,
him dressed up that way. Mm-hmm. It has all that.
They're digging in the wrong place.
I am the monarch of the sea. I am the bad dates.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That poor monkey.
That poor monkey.
Poor monkey. Yeah.
Poor fucking
man,
Nazi monkey.
They bury you up to your neck in the sand. That's a fun little part.
Yeah. That was pretty fun.
Just try away and just kind of like, all right.
When you break his nose with the
And then the scorpions start coming. You're like, oh.
yeah.
Why did I, what was it? Why did I instantly think of Scorpion King? I'm like, I'm going to crush one of these motherfuckers with my chin.
Right.
Ah,
Didn't he bite on one too? He's like, "Arr, arr, arr."
yeah.
Yeah. No, you do get to go to some really good places. There's not really too much to say about this game. The locations were spectacular.
It's
the
pretty
graphics are great.
straightforward. You go to one place. It's a search and find it video game method with an Indiana Jones cover on it. But it's great because it's Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And it's in that storytelling, old school. What'd you call them? Picture movie. There's the word you gave to it. Picture movies, pictograms. For the old school movies. Damn, yeah.
Well, the movie serials, like
Movie serials. Boom.
Yeah.
It has a movie serial feel to it, especially in the little, like if you were to
Break it up.
Since you're playing over
Yeah.
a couple days, it's like you can do one place and it's like tune in next time.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. When they
Alright.
go to Giza.
And when you're going
Yeah.
in between places, you see the classic map, you see the plane,
Yes.
you see the red line, you hear the music going from like this and that, and blah blah blah.
Sound effects wise.
The fonts that come up
Yeah.
between every place, yeah, all those classic punching.
Yeah.
They
Dude,
throw a Wilhelm scream somewhere in that movie. In that game. I
Yeah.
remember hearing it. I forget where, but it's there.
you got that classic smacking celery, breaking celery, whatever it was, sound effect. That classic Indiana Jones punch sound effect is just there.
True,
Practically every
really
hit
sounds
that you-
like that
yeah,
bitch
you give.
hurts. Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes fighting. To tell you, Fight Club was my favorite. Fight
Yeah.
Club was so fun.
that was great. It was really fun.
You get to dress in disguises and sneak past people and do a whole bunch of crazy things. It's a really, really fun game.
And you can also pick up any weapon that you find, down to like fly
I hit
swatters.
people with all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I beat somebody with a fly swatter a couple of times and then punched them because the fly swatter broke.
Guitar. The guitar was fun.
Guitar was fun.
Frying pan's fun. A broom's fun.
Did you get that silver wrench from the guy that was working on the truck?
No.
That thing doesn't break.
Oh, nice.
I was just beating the fuck out of people with the silver wrench. I was just like, bah, 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 just smacking them left and right. It was amazing.
There was an achievement for throwing an apple at somebody. That was fun.
Yeah, you told me about that one. Did you find the banana?
What banana?
There's a banana.
In the tailpipe?
No.
Oh.
You're not going to fall for the banana and tailpipe?
You find a little statue of a monkey, and it is holding an actual banana.
That's funny.
And you take the fruit.
Oh, man.
At one point, when I was going to eat the fruit, it was like it pulls out the banana. I'm like, I don't want to eat the banana. It's an achievement. Like, I found that fucking thing. Fuck. Well, you might as well eat the banana, or just have like squishy banana in your pocket.
Correct.
Doesn't even have skin on it. It's just a peeled banana.
Yeah. You
Just sitting there. It's
eat
like,
that
yeah,
thing quick.
Yeah, eat that thing right away.
I don't even know if I eat that thing.
Well, you know, it's a video game.
I'm saying.
I need an energy. That's just,
Yeah. You know, Oregon Trail's a video game. You could die of dysentery.
touche. Oh, that was good. That was good. We should do a podcast. That was well done.
Yeah. But so I would say my biggest gripe with this game is it's glitchy. It makes it a little difficult to, and I saw some things on Reddit, and there's a lot of things that kept people from 100%ing it.
Yeah.
Some
There's
people
definitely
had to do,
some patches
some people
that
had to
need
do
to be
some
done.
restarts. Some people had to, and it does feel like they crammed a lot into it. There's a lot of them little relics and stuff to find. But
They give you a lot of stuff to do, which is fun.
Yeah, which is fine.
Because if you want to make the game last, the story last, then you can go around and find all those different things and look for all those different.
And
do
there
all
is
the
another
side quests.
ending to see.
Yes, which is hard to do if you're playing the glitched version of the
Yes.
game. that where you can't get all the relics.
Yes.
And if you can't get all the relics, then you can't see the secret ending to the game.
Even if you can, it makes it so you're having to go and look it up or having to backtrack enough. Backtrack more than you should be when you're supposed to be spending money on these in-game maps that say, here's where everything is, and you should go here, and it leads you here. Then you do the exploring on your own, like, it's in this area. Here you go. And then, so. Other than that, I have no problem with the game. I feel like it was a nice, for a time right now where I'm looking for a lot more story kind of driven games, this was really good. Especially for being an Indiana Jones fan. This felt really great. You know what I did today? I was thinking about if they made this movie back then, like say instead of Temple of Doom, they made this. And I was thinking about casting, and I could only think of who would play Gina. And I was thinking, I wanted to run it by you. What would you think if, and I was thinking, I looked up like who was popular. I was like Italian actresses, highest grossing actresses of 84, because it would have been about then, all of that. So I was thinking, of course, it'd still be Harrison Ford, but for Gina, Isabella Rossellini.
Oh yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't pin a Voss. I couldn't. It was difficult. I looked at German actors from around that time. I looked at Hollywood actors who could possibly do some German. At that time, the closest I got, Patrick Swayze. But at that time, he was still, I don't know. At that time, I don't know if it would work. But yeah, Voss would be difficult for me to pin down. Like nowadays, easy. Fassbender comes to mind off bat. Or even what's his bucket? Your main cat from the Inglourious Basterds, who's also in Django.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying there. Yeah.
But like for 84, for that time, I don't know. I don't know who you get for Voss. I was thinking about it all day. I was doing some cross-referencing. I do not know.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. That's something we'd have to definitely look up.
But I just thought like him next to Isabella Rossellini on just like a poster would sell. And shit.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
100%. Huh.
How'd you like this game?
I love this game. There's nothing that I would really change about it other than the glitches. I want to be able to find all the relics.
That's what I was going to say. I wonder if they'll fix it with this PS5 version that's going to drop. I'm mildly... If it's another free option, then I'll pick it. That's how I... don't get it twisted. I didn't pay to play this game. I mean, I paid as far as I'm playing for my Game Pass, but they still want like $62 with Game Pass.
Damn.
To buy this game. It's
I mean,
I just sat here and sang some praises. I'm not paying $60 for this game. It's not that good to me.
I would have paid $60 for this. One of those where it's like up there with a good Star Wars game that you're willing to pay $60 for, because of the fact that it is something that is connected not only to the other movies that you know and love, but to a character that you know and love. And they nailed the character when it comes to the game. Troy Baker was fucking great. He was great. Motion capture and everything. He was great.
So will you pay $60 for it? Because if it's going to go off Game Pass one day, and then you're just going to have to buy it.
Yeah, but by the time I have a system that actually can play that game, it's probably going to be to the point where I can actually, buy it for like $40.
Yeah, $40 I'll spend on it.
Yeah, but if I had to, at the time, and I was...
You could have this whole time just paid $60 for it.
No, because I can't pay, my system doesn't play it.
But you
I had to borrow your system in order to play it.
Then you would have paid $60 for it?
I would have paid
62 something.
If I was not, if I had a little of that extra cash and everything still, like a little side stuff from pay and all that, sure, yeah, I think that's worth it. It's one of those that because I could play this game more than once, easy. I could play through this game again and enjoy it just as much as say I enjoyed playing through Red Dead Redemption 2, because and I'll say this because. It's a good story.
I can't co-sign that. But it'll be a little while before I play Indiana Jones again. I'll play Red Dead Redemption 2 before I play this Indiana Jones again.
I've played Red Dead Redemption 2 like
that'll be my
maybe 5 times now.
7th time playing Red Dead.
Yeah,
just 'cause.
yeah.
So yeah, I can't put it up there with that. I would, but Red Dead, along with story, there's 2 stories in Red Dead. Number 1, because the one story ends, another one begins.
Right.
And then the open world capability is almost second to none. But
Yeah,
so
I'll
can't
give
put
you
it
that
there.
when it comes
But
to open world and shit.
just
like
for
that.
us, like replaying and watch it, like I want to watch a good story. Yeah.
And when you're going for storyline, story-driven games, for me, it's as fun as doing something like Red Dead Redemption or Jedi Fallen Order, which I still have to play that second.
Again,
Second one.
also not as fun. Not as fun. That just be there's
Yeah.
But I get it.
You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying.
I'll definitely spend $40 on it.
If it has a good steelbook case and everything like that, yeah, I'd pay $60 for it. I mean, I was paying like for the steelbook case of one of the last couple of Assassin's Creed games, not the most recent one.
Yeah.
They were asking for $100 for a fucking game just because, look, it comes with a steelbook case and you get this special outfit. And, you know, I'm like, that's $100 fucking dollars, guys. But it was Assassin's Creed, you
And
know.
it's steel case and a special outfit.
Right.
Yeah. Shit.
You know.
Yeah, it's fucking that shit better come with a whip.
Right.
And a hat or something.
Right. Does the steelbook case talk to me? Does it play music? Do I push a button and does it light up? No. Yeah. Were we talking about movies?
And
Indiana Jones. Game.
what I will say is, in closing, the last thing I can say is, in doing the little research I did, the makers of the game did say, as far as sequels, possible things to go after this movie, they said that there is, you know, when it comes to seeing as how they were able to tell this story in between some of the major movies, there are a bunch of other movies that they could tell stories in between. So there is some open air and some open interest to maybe tell some other stories in between some of the movies, especially if there's a good enough reception from the games. And so far, I think the reception is, we'll see what a PS5 release does. Because I get the feeling a lot of people played it on Game Pass. I don't know if a lot of people are going to pay that price tag for it. We'll see how much the PS5 version they want for it. But I think that as far as they get good enough reception that they'll make other movies. But just like I was telling you, I mean, they'll make other games. But like I was telling you, in trying to 100% it, 70-something% of people finished the first level. Then
Right.
it dropped down to like 11% of people actually finished the game. That's a big drop.
Right.
So I don't know what turned people off after that first level as they started to play the game. I didn't go down a deep enough dive of people who played, but I kind of on surface, I look at numbers like that and I go, okay, well, it's not positive. Doesn't mean a whole lot, but it's interesting.
Right.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I remember getting an achievement on yours and it said like 3% of gamers actually did this. I was like, fucking hell. Okay.
Yeah, for the relics, to find all the relics, it's like, I think it's less than 1%.
Wow.
It's like 0.9 something percent. Yeah, because it is a lot. And
Yeah.
it's one of those, if you've already checked out of the game, then, you know, and I imagine those 11% are people that just, I'm just going to play through the main story, just want to see what this is about, all that other stuff. And unless it helps me finish the game, then I'm not even going to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Well, I hope it does well enough to the point where they get enough people playing to make another one because it deserves another one. I would love to see another one. I'd love to see them be able to do maybe some other things, maybe like get him on a horse or a motorcycle in first person, that type of shit. Driving a Jeep or a truck, you know, like he does in the movies. You know, do something like that. But, and this is free. If they were to do the final game where it opens up as the opening of Last Crusade and then goes into whatever mission that he has to do, but then the mission at the end of the game the last mission ties into finding the Cross Coronado, which then you just, swing off into the ocean and blah, 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 but all in first person on the boat. And then that's the end of the game, which then leads into the movie because we all know and love that movie.
If they were smart, they could even have a thing that you play you start off playing like a whole mission or something. Turns out it's the beginning of the newer movie because you just see him where he's already captured.
Right.
You play the beginning of that, and the end is it goes wrong.
Right.
And then boom, that leads you to.
Okay, so second movie, do what I just said. Then the last movie, do what you just said. Man, see, it writes it fucking self. God damn.
That's the power of what you can do with some video games, man. Like,
with a good story.
Yeah, you can.
As long as you don't break the fucking main character.
You can tie in some. You can. Was it canonize? You can canonize some really good stuff. You can canonize some really good stuff using the video games. Putting this, just telling these little off-story adventures that kind of tie into these major grand stories. And you can tell people like, oh, if you're interested, here's an avenue you can go in and look at. And it could kind of go better than a lot of shows and things that do that. I think video games sometimes can be a little easier avenue. Even to the point where for people that don't play video games, there's enough people that do to where you can just sit and watch the hour and a half cutscenes, and you can get some grand storytelling. There's some grand storytelling out of some games that are coming. That's why that's why Last of Us is a major show now, because the story in the video game was great. Right. Some really good storytelling going on out there. So video games have a great avenue in connecting some tissue with these other stories, especially in a day and age when we're doing a lot of remakes of older stuff. Yeah. A new video game on some older things that connect to some, in between of old stuff might be pretty cool.
Yeah. So. Hell, they can connect it to an episode of the Young Indiana Jones series.
I'm just freestyling. How dope would it be to go back and play some early fucking Ghostbuster mishap? You know what I mean? That were in between some movies where they're out on patrol and then that's part of your open quest is you're taking calls. Ghostbusters, you got to go here, you got to go here, and
in between shit. Yep, you can do it now. Video games can take it a certain way. That was Indiana Jones, folks. That was a whole lot of Indiana Jones.
Little last question, just to you think they're done? You think they hand it to somebody? I'm pretty sure they're done with Harrison being Indiana Jones. I don't think they're going to throw him in.
No, anything. I don't think it's going to be like Indiana Jones.
Do you think they just wait a while and just reboot it at some point after Harrison's gone?
Yeah, I think so. But I think right now doing this whole video game thing is great because you can still do the Indiana Jones that you know and love. Even to the point, like I said, Troy Baker did such a good job, I guess, at the Video Game Awards. He was presenting, and they actually had Harrison Ford come out. It's a little surprise thing on stage with Troy Baker. At one point, he said, "These guys did great, and this guy did such a good job. Had I known he was going to do such a good job, I would have done it myself." And so when he said that, I was like, that was cool. It's to be able to have probably somebody who you idolized, not only say that you did a good job.
I wonder if they even asked him, man. And if he turned it down, they were just like, nah, we're just going to have somebody else do it.
Well, it just would have sounded like it did at the beginning of Dial of Destiny. Yeah. Young Indiana Jones, old Indiana Jones voice.
I'd rather you not do it.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I'm good.
No, Troy Baker was great. If not, go the Obi-Wan route and AI the voice, because it can be done. And then they just tweak it and make it sound good.
Just have Troy Baker do young Harrison Ford, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Just have him do young Harrison Ford. Have him, if you do next time you do a Han, that's your guy. Just go get Troy Baker. Cool. Well, I think we ate a meal.
That was a good meal.
I think it was dope.
Damn good meal.
I think that was dope.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, then, as always, thanks, y'all. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Thanks for checking in. We're still here.
That's
we
right.
We're going to be here. We got stuff coming. So
talk about where they can find us.
You can find us on all the things except for Still Pandora, I'm guessing.
Correct.
But anywhere where you can find anywhere where you listen to your podcast, you can find us. Go on ahead into your search bar, if you type in Matinee Review with Justin Nikili, I think before you even get up there, we should be kind of the first thing that pops up at this point, which is actually pretty cool.
Technically, you have to put in the Matinee Review with Keely and Justin, because that's the order that's in. But
either way, if you type it in, it's going to come up.
Yeah.
So you can find us on all the things. And if you want to shoot us an email, we do have an email.
Yeah, it's the matineereview@gmail.com.
So if there's something you'd like us to review or talk about, go ahead and send us a shout. And it'd just be nice to hear from some of y'all. Even if it's like, hey, y'all are doing a good job. Or like, hey, y'all kind of suck at this. We can go, okay, well, thank you for your opinion. And you can go fuck yourself. But, it's fine. We like to hear from you either way.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Damn right.
All right, y'all. Well, that's going to be our episode.
It was a good episode.
It was a good episode.
It was long. We've been here
okay.
a while.
That's all right.
That's all right. Hopefully
I'm sure
people
we've had
actually
longer
lasted through this
episodes
whole.
at this point.
Well, I'm just saying. It's late. I'm
All
sorry.
good.
I'm tired.
Thanks for stopping by. We love y'all. And for the Matinee Review, I am Akili,
I'm Justin.
and we will catch y'all on the next one.
Take care, folks.
He's going to burn up. 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 He's going to burn up.